To all my gamers out there, I'm sure we have all at one point or another dreamed of living inside of one of our favorite games. Those of us who have played MMOs or massive online multiplayer games have especially felt this. You invest tons of time leveling up this character and building out this adventure, only to realize that all of the progression ultimately only lives in the pixelated world, not in your actual life. And what's more, it's often the case that the life being built inside of the game is arguably better than the life in the real world. I mean, who wouldn't want to spend their days dungeon crawling instead of working a 9 to 5? This ultimately has propelled the, no pun intended, explosive progress in virtual reality and will probably one day lead us into a world where we can ultimately simulate an entire life through a video game. Well, luckily for us gamers, the stars have aligned and that dream is now becoming a reality, although not in the way you might expect. If you've ever wanted to fully stake your life on your ability to survive in the video game world, then you're in luck because the creator of the Oculus Rift, Palmer Luckey, has just created a headset that will actually kill you in real life if you die in the virtual world. Welcome to my channel, TFC Tech, where we discuss fascinating topics surrounding science and technology. Before we get started, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel as your support helps more than you know, but without further ado, let's get into it. Before we explore what exactly the headset does and who made it, let's dive into the inspiration behind this insane device. The headset, rather than being an actual product meant to be sold, is more of a nod to the crazy popular anime named Sword Art Online. This show came out in 2012 at a perfect time for it to hit mainstream, as this was also in tandem with the release of the Oculus Rift initially. In the show, on Sunday, November 6, 2022, the same day Luckey unveiled his headset, Kirito, the main character of the anime, put on the full dive headset and dove into the medieval fantasy world of Aincrad. A game where players were fully immersed, having all of their senses, taste, touch, sight, hearing, all completely inside of the game. They had no perception of their outside bodies and lived full-on lives inside of this game. This nerve gear would suppress all outside inputs to the brain, so the players were not aware of anything happening outside of the game world. This was accomplished by what was called Nerve Gear, a headset that could actually read all neural outputs as well as input any stimulus from the game, providing that fully immersive feel. It's actually super interesting technology that doesn't seem too far-fetched from what we are already seeing today. Just look at Neuralink, for example. Where the plot thickens in Sword Art Online is when the creator of the game decides to trap all 10,000 players inside of the game world, and where he tells them that anyone who dies in the game will also die in real life. This would be accomplished by having the Nerve Gear headsets fry the players' real brains with microwaves, which in actuality could kill a person, though not as easily as the show makes it look. Microwaves are non-ionizing, which means that they don't have enough energy to actually damage cells. Instead, it would have to work by heating up the brain and melting critical arteries to fully unalive a player, which would require time and energy that isn't already being routed into the game. But that's some science for another day and a level of technicality that the show doesn't actually go into. But getting back to SAO, the players in Sword Art Online would only be released from the game and would only be able to survive if they cleared all 100 floors of Aincrad, and killed all corresponding bosses. These floors would get progressively harder, resulting in almost 4,000 eventual deaths, with over half of those occurring in the first month. I'll save you the ending in case you want to go watch the show yourself, but just understand that this show was revolutionary at the time and was ultimately the catalyst for our guy Paul Luckey to create his terrifying invention. Instead of using microwaves to take out his players, Paul Luckey takes a much more direct approach with his headset. Inspired by the Nerve Gear from Sword Art Online, his VR headset houses 3 explosive charges mounted above the screen that are set to detonate if it registers an in-game death. To dive a little bit more into why he actually did this, let's quote an article from GamerRant.com. The article states, in Palmer's official blog, he announced that inspired by the extensive Sword Art Online universe, he had created a real-life version of the lethal headset used in the series. Although the headset is not being mass-produced or sold to the public, Luckey commented on the project's development saying, "At this point, it's just a piece of office art, a thought-provoking reminder of the unexplored avenues in game design. It is also, as far as I know, the first non-fiction example of a VR headset that can actually kill the user, and it won't be the last." The article goes on to say that Luckey stated that he also has plans for an anti-tamper mechanism, which, like its Sword Art Online counterpart, will make it impossible to remove or destroy the headset without dying. And this is why he has not yet worked up the courage to test out the headset himself. The very existence of this SAO-inspired headset comes as a harrowing blurring of the lines between science fiction and fact. If Palmer Luckey does in fact succeed in bringing this project to fruition, gamers will need to hope that surviving bullet hell games with this headset on doesn't become a viral social media challenge. So I don't know about you, but I would not want to be playing any type of Call of Duty or Souls games with this thing on. Or any games with this headset on for that matter. Ultimately, joke or not, I believe this technology is a prime example of the quote from Jurassic Park that says, "Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, that they didn't stop to think if they should." And honestly, I'm inclined to believe Palmer when he says that this headset won't be the last of its kind. As excited as I am for the future of virtual reality technology, I do genuinely think it would be best for humanity if we never reach a point of full dive immersion in gaming. I really do believe it would be a ton of fun, and a large part of me would love to live in the world of Skyrim, running around in the beautiful mountains slaying dragons all day. But the truth is, we as humans simply don't have the discipline to know when to stop, or to know when enough of this technology is enough. The truth is, gaming addiction can be just like any other addiction, and this is coming from a die-hard gamer myself. If you go down the streets of any major city in the US, you will see countless people strung out on drugs constantly living in a world outside of our own. They have submitted themselves to a perpetual state of detachment from reality, and it begs the question, just how different is that addiction from the hypothetical addiction to virtual reality? Because let's be real, one day when VR gets good enough, there will be people who choose to leave their current life behind and live permanently in the game world. We already see this to some degree with the deaths of internet cafe gamers in Taiwan. They become so occupied inside the game world that they literally leave their own bodies to die. It's a small microcosm of what could theoretically be possible, but I truly believe that this will represent a moral dilemma that we will have to deal with in the future. But I'm gonna leave that topic there for today. You can let me know your thoughts on this issue down in the comments below. Also, let me know what game you think you could survive in with this headset on. Initially, I was thinking maybe Minecraft, but even then, there's a lot of times that I die to something completely random. But that's gonna do it for the video today, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are so close to being monetized, and I'm super excited for the future of this channel. Look out for more videos on science and technology from me, and I'll catch you in the next one.